Hey everybody, it's Ian the Off Kilter Crafter. I hope you're having a great day today. Today I am joined by a special guest for a super fun interview. I know this is a little different here on my YouTube channel, but I hope you'll stick around and enjoy today's interview. I'm joined by Kim Moos, who is the owner of Cotton Cuts. Hi Kim, thank you for joining me today.
Hi, thanks so much for having me, Ian. I'm very happy to be here and joining you.
Absolutely. I'm so excited to talk to you and get to know you better, and hopefully my subscribers and friends get to know you better too. I've been talking about the Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mystery Quilt for over a year now. Many people have seen my tutorials on how to put the blocks together. And first of all, let me say thank you so much for letting me be a part of that. It is so much fun with those puzzle mystery quilts. If you don't know what I'm talking about here on my channel, make sure to go check out the iCards. I'll put an iCard up there for everyone to see and check it out. But let's talk a little bit, first of all, about Cotton Cuts, the company, because y'all are more than just the puzzle mystery quilt. And tell me a little bit about that.
Right, so Cotton started almost exactly 4 years ago. We were a super small, all online subscription-based company for fabric. So we started out with what we call our classic box. So I wanted to start a subscription company, and I was looking at quilting. I've been quilting since I was 13. And I was like, oh gosh, this is a perfect opportunity. I looked at everything that's out there, and I wasn't a big fan of the throw everything in a box and you get what you get and you don't throw a fit type model. I knew I was different than my mom, which is different than my other friend that was a quilter. And so I knew it had to be different. And so we ask all of our quilters what they like and what they don't like, and they get different boxes each month. And so to me, that's one of the fundamentals of Cotton Cuts is its choice. So you've done the mystery several times, right? There are so many different colorways. Now you won't choose every single one of them, but you know someone who could choose one of them. And so to me, it's Cotton Cuts is a company that realizes not every quilter is the same and not every quilter wants to do the same thing. So we spent about 2 years in my basement. I made a promise to my husband that I would never own a fabric store in our basement, and that lasted for about 2 weeks. I knew when I started Cotton Cuts, I wanted to get back to our community. And so we partnered with the Sheltered Workshop. And the Sheltered Workshop, for those that don't know, is a place that employs disabled individuals in the communities and works with local partners to do light manufacturing work. So this is something where, depending upon the ability of the individual, they get special projects to work on. And I had worked with Sheltered Workshops in my professional career, and I knew I wanted to do that when I was building Cotton Cuts. And so every month they cut and fold all of our fabric. So we had them doing all the cutting and folding, and I was doing odd jobs in our basement. And then we needed new space. And so about 2 years ago, we moved into a mall. And so Ian and I were talking before the interview that I'm actually sitting in our space inside the Chesterfield Mall. So we have the Sheltered Workshop that still cuts and folds about, I think we're up to about 4,000 fat quarters. They cut and fold each month for us. I have a group here in the shop that kits, and I think, so I just ran the numbers. I think we're about 75,000 different shapes we die cut each month for the mystery. And so my team here, we have shipments that go out every day. And it has grown, Cotton Cuts itself has grown way past anything I really thought it could be, but we're here after 4 years. You know, in March, I, like everyone else, thought, oh my gosh, are we going to survive this pandemic? Like, I don't know what's going on. There was a lot of uncertainty. That lasted for about 4 hours. And then all the Joann's and Hobby Lobby had to close, which pushed everyone online to buy fabric. And so we have definitely been, you know, working with people online. So this is experienced quilters that are now having to buy online instead of in person, but there are so many beginning quilters that have entered sewing that it's exciting for me, and it's energizing to me to see people that are going back to stable crafts, that are going back to things where they can make things because they're at home. Like you right now, you're at home, right? And so, you know, it's more opportunity for Cotton Cuts. And my team and I talked about it, and we're like, here's a pandemic, and I know you've probably seen it online, Ian, where people are like gouging, and you know, I wanted to do it. I wanted to be able to support what was going on in an economically appropriate fashion. And so we sell mystery bundles of fat quarters at cost. This is something I wanted to be able to support the sewing initiatives that were going on without, and I use the word profiteering in a pandemic. That's not core to what we are. This is a really long-winded answer to your question.
You're good.
But
You're good. No, I
going.
like it. Keep going. Keep going. Keep telling us more.
So you know, I wanted to make sure that we weren't profiteering in a pandemic, that we weren't capturing gains in an unfortunate fashion with a very very unfortunate situation. And so we've actually been able to support, we've shipped via our mystery bundles, I just ran the numbers, it's like 42,000 fat quarters to people at cost so they could make masks. And we're still here and we're still growing. Our mystery, so the one that I think you're participating in, Are You Game, you're doing Twister. We just passed 1,200 people for that mystery all around the world, 15 different countries. And so to me, that's exciting, right? That's a lot of people coming in. It's a great project for beginners. It's a great project for experienced quilters. And so I don't know, the future is really bright for us. We're super excited to still be here. And I always laugh at the like, oh my gosh, what am I gonna do? It's the world is ending, the kids are home, the husband's home, what are we gonna do? And then, like I said, 6 hours, and then it was hair on fire.
First of all, that's a lot to unpackage, so I'm gonna work my way
Yes.
through all of that. But it brought up so many great points. First of all, the pandemic happened. Obviously, we are still in a global pandemic that nobody currently, at least that I know of on Earth, has ever experienced. And this is one that's a global experience for everyone, where everybody is having a similar experience at the same time. And we all kind of did hit this, like, we reached out for our comforts and we reached out for things that we know and we have control over. And yeah, all the fabric stores around here closed. Nobody could get into them for material for masks. And though it was very few, there were some companies across the board, not just in the crafting market, but around the entire industries of all kinds that tried to profit off of what was happening. So it's very great and comforting to hear that you went the opposite way. You went with at cost for so that way everybody could have not only something that we all are required to have now, masks. We need to have masks to help protect ourselves and protect everyone around us. So it really shows the true depth of a company when they want to help and they want to put goodness out into the world. So this is one of the reasons why I support Cotton Cut so much, is because I truly believe the company behind the different products and everything. So thank you for talking about that a little bit. And also, it's very interesting. I know when I signed up for the Puzzle Mystery Quilt the first time, and even as I've been going through this process, I had no idea how much you support your local community, which is so awesome. I think that's really interesting and very cool that y'all are doing that. Now, you were talking about the amount of product that is going out. That is, how do y'all keep track of all that? Like, to me, that's just an unfathomable way to keep, how do you keep track of all that?
So I'll let you in on a secret. I'm an engineer by education. So I naturally keep things in order. There are spreadsheets that power everything we do. There are systems that support all of our integration. We have checks and balances throughout the process to make sure we have quality that's delivered across the board. So that is my background. That's my education. That's how I spent the first 15 years in my professional career. And so it's just, I'm an engineer. Yeah.
I have several engineer friends, so I know exactly what you're talking about. And I always love when you bring a problem to an engineer, they're like, you can see the gears turning in their head and they're like, hold on, I got this. So that's very interesting. Now, tell me a little bit about, so you do the Puzzle Mystery Quilt.
Yes.
You do the Modern Maker
boxes. Yes.
Got that one. You also do I'm missing another one.
So there's the Classic and the Mini Pops. Then there's Java, and then there's Chroma and Snippet, and soon Snippet Pro. So. All
right, you got a lot going on, and I love that. I love that each of them, the Puzzle Mystery Quilts have been a lot of fun because you do get to go in and choose what colorways you want. Like there's such a variety too. Like it's not just an A or a B, it's an A through almost Z, it feels like sometimes. And so you can really jump on a color wave that you feel very very passionate about. I know I have whenever I've chosen my colorways with Are You Game. I love that they're primary colors, and I'm excited to see what it looks like when it's finished. But I know a couple of my friends in the guild, they're doing the Tula Pink one. So it looks complete. It's the same quilt, but it's going to have a completely different feel to it. And I love that a lot. We're going to focus in a little bit on the Puzzle Mystery Quilt, and we'll get to the other ones in a minute. But the Puzzle Mystery Quilts, where do they come from, and how in the world? First of all, I know that it's not you specifically who's putting these patterns together, but how do these patterns come about, and how does it break up into such awesome puzzle pieces?
So early on, 4 years ago, I launched the box, right? And I was like, we're going to be a subscription box. We're going to put this product out there. And the day after we opened up our website, I was reached out to a woman named Sheila Christensen. So Sheila is a quilt shop owner in New Zealand. She's owned a quilt shop there. I think she's about 7 or 8 years ago. She bought it from someone else. And she had this brainchild of, instead of doing a traditional block of the month, let's do a puzzle mystery, and let's pre-cut the pieces and give it in monthly installments to our membership, and then have a big reveal at the end. And so she had been running it out of her shop for about 3.5 years before she contacted me. And she had 3.5 years of experience with the design, with the fabric selection, and with all the software, with how do you break it up into 10 installments that keep people excited, but guessing until the end. This isn't a block 1, block 2, block 3. Everything gets shuffled together at the end. And so she had plenty of experience to work all that out. And I knew when I launched the boxes, a lot of people were like, we love your box concept. That's awesome. It's different. But we would love a project. Like, if you could innovate project. And I was like, fantastic, I'll learn how to do that next year, right? Like we'll put that on the burner, and in 6 months we'll do it. And then when Sheila reached out to me, I was like, oh my God, she is the design expert on this. She has been perfecting it out of her shop for several years, and she knows what she's doing. So let her do what she does best, which is come up with these beautiful designs that are different every time. And let us focus on what we do best, which is the manufacturing, which is the customer service, and which is the customer marketing work. And so she reached out to me. We had a Zoom call. A Zoom call 4 years ago was not a cool thing to do, but we had I think it was even Skype even. So, and then we met up at Quilt Market that year, and I had literally just shipped my first batch of boxes, and here I was talking to her about launching this new project. And so we accelerated the whole design process, and we launched it in February. And so done it twice a year. She has designs that just come out for us. She doesn't do it out of her shop anymore. And so she literally supports us. We were talking about the process and how it all works. So she comes up with the design, and so she sends it to myself. And then there's another business partner in the United Kingdom that does a portion of work in the United Kingdom. And so she sends us the design, and she's like, what do you guys think? And then she mocks it up in about 27 different colorways. And right.
What?
So I know you said A to Z, and I'm like, 27's a little past Z, right? But she literally, we get a ton of colorways. And so we're going through this process right now. So I'm a late this year, but I'm taking the 27 and I'm kind of boiling them down. Like, what do I think we need? What do I think we want? And we give her feedback. So if I'm looking at the body of work and I'm like, gosh, Sheila, people keep asking for a red, white, and blue design. Can you mock something up in red, white, and blue? And so she'll take the design and she'll put it in those colors. And so we're actually doing that this year. We're going to have a red, white, and blue quilt, which we've never had before. And we're going to have a Christmas quilt, which we've never had before either, right? So it's one of those, I listen to our customers. I'm like, Sheila, we need to, it's definitely not she gives us the designs and that's all we have to choose from. There's a whole conversation and a back and forth. Even when I pick, these are the ones I like, I can go to order them and the manufacturer will be like, it's sold out, it's out of print. At which point then I go back to Sheila and I was like, hey, can we change out this color? And so there's a lot of collaboration and a lot of support there. And then I place all the orders for the fabrics. And Sheila does all the pattern work. So she's the one that can tell us, for month 1, this is what you're going to cut. For month 2, this is what you're going to cut. For month 3, this is what you're going to cut. And then I push all the production sheets to my team and they get it done.
Wow. That's fascinating. It is truly, thank you so much for giving us that like window into how that works. Cause it's mind boggling to get these packages and like, literally I know whenever I'm putting them together, I look at my finished clue, whatever number it is, and I'm like, how in the world is this going to turn into a project that, you know, is cohesive and like put together, and it always comes together in such a beautiful and fun way. I've completed one quilt so far, but I'm working on two more right now.
Yes.
So I can't wait to see how Name of the Rose and Are You Game, like I'm so excited to see how those come out. And it's interesting though, because you talk about choosing the different colorways and, you know, starting off with 27 or however many different colorways there are. Do y'all pick specific fabrics for those colorways, or like, is it the colors that inspire the fabrics, or is it the fabrics that inspire the colors?
So about 6 months before Sheila comes up with these colorways, we're scouting new collections to be released. And so there is a timing element for us. So like, I love Crimson Tate. I love Heather. Her fabrics are awesome. Her release schedule never matches our shipping schedule for the mysteries. Never been able to use any of her fabric. So there is definitely a timing element. And so we are constantly looking ahead. So the colorways I was just talking about are for the mystery that'll ship in February. We'll have another mystery that ships in July. We're already looking at collections now for that one. So we scour and we're like, hey, we think this one's going to fit. We think this one's going to fit. And then Sheila takes all those and puts them into the design on her computer, right? And so she's able, so when she gives us the, here's a red, white, and blue, that is actually like actual fabric number. So I could order from that. It's not hypothetically what a red, white, and blue would look like, but she actually has manufacturer and ordering instructions for us.
Wow. Awesome. That's so cool. That's so cool.
So yeah, so I can tell you, you know, what we're going to be doing next summer.
Great. Let's hear it. Let's hear what we're doing next summer. I'm just kidding with you. Although, I mean, if you want to delve. So
I'm just saying you should, Moda has a super cool Sea Life batik that's coming out that would be just in time for next summer. So ooh. I know you're not a batik guy. You're a Juicy Juice guy. I am. And an Allison Glass. But yeah, so yeah, there's a couple where Juicy Juice is on the short list for the one to start in February. So we'll see. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Yeah. Although I don't mind branching out and checking out I think it was the Are You Game. No, it was the Name of the Rose that had the underwater batiks. That is Are You Game. That is Labyrinth. Oh, I know. Yeah. I know. Yeah. I was like looking at that and like, ooh, this is a hard decision. I ultimately went with Allison Glass, but I know that was one of the more popular ones. Over 200 people are doing it. So the manufacturer, Robert Kaufman, actually did a whole second printing of those fabrics just for us because we needed so many. So they literally were like, you know, we've cleared our shelves of everything for you already. And I was like, well, here's the wait list. And they're like, let us work on the logistics to get a second run going for you. And so we bought out the entire second run. Whoa. That's like mind blown. I know, right? So that's the other part of the equation, right? So we've been planning for these mysteries, like, you know what the design is, we've got all the colorways picked out, and then you open signups and it's a free-for-all. Like, I mean, you've been in seeing that process, like within less than 30 minutes, colorways will sell out. And it's then we spend weeks like on the phone negotiating, can we get more? I mean, because we want to have as many people as possible participate, but it's not until people start signing up that we know that Labyrinth is going to be popular, right? I mean, we had a pretty good idea. People were going to like it. Yeah. All right. So we don't know how popular it is until we actually open the signups. And then our team is frantically sourcing and trying to figure out and scraping warehouse shelves and send us everything you've got. So yeah. Gosh, that's crazy. All right, we've talked a lot about this, and I know that y'all offer more. I'm just passionate about the puzzles. Me too. It's my favorite. Yes. It's so much fun. It's so much fun. If you haven't signed up or haven't checked it out, like I said, go check it out. It is so much fun. But y'all have other
the Java boxes. Can you talk a little bit about these other boxes that you do? And again, kind of let us into the secret of how do you source these? Because I got a Java box from last year. That was, I believe, the October box. And it was themed, of course, to Halloween. Makes sense, right? October box,
Yes.
Halloween. So it had the colors that went along with that. So can you let us into the background of how y'all kind of source these and look for these and create these?
Sure. So the one that's nearest and dearest to my heart is the classic. So that's the one we started with. And so we pick fabrics from lots of different categories each month. And these are all fresh collections. These have all been released within the past 2 months. And we pick and choose and make custom bundles for people based upon what they tell us. And so some people are like, sure, send me whatever. We love those. Those are easy to pack. There are some people that are like, I am making a baby quilt for a grandson. Can you send me grays and blues, right? So we pick and choose gray and blue fabrics for them. I love this one because I feel this is the one that represents each individual quilter the best. Now, with that said, we have fabrics already on order for boxes we won't ship until 9 months from now. It's we have our production schedule. We know exactly what fabrics are coming in. We do a lot of work to kind of coordinate them. So a batik will do well with the reproduction, which will do well with a floral. But we have all of that planned out for at least 9 to 10 months. And it's just because of the supply chain of fabric. We want to make sure that we're putting together the best box possible. And so we could make it up each month and just kind of see what's available, but that's not going to deliver the best quality to us. And so, yeah, that's actually the fun part. My team gets to be creative because they feel like they're personal shoppers. Like, and we get some people that are, you know, very particular. Like, I'm a costume maker and I make skating roller derby outfits and I'm looking for giant floral and big bold prints. And so, yeah, I mean, it's, we answer all the questions. We handle it all. So that one I love the most. That one, you know, you can get a smaller version. There's a full-size version where you get 12 fat quarters or 6 half yards. And then we have a mini version. So there's some people that just like a little infusion of stuff. And I am always the most motivated when I see someone that gets like a Tula pink next to a production and loves it. Because those aren't two common things you would put together, but yet in our boxes, we work extra hard to make it work. We want to expand people's horizons. And I'll get a quilter who'll be like, yeah, I'm a traditional quilter. I do very traditional quilt box. And then I find a Tula pink print and I kind of just slip it in the box and they love it. And so it's one of those, surprising, right?
Yeah, you're kind of gently expanding the horizons and like saying like, oh, you like this, but you might like this too.
Yes. Yeah. It's the like, we're going to put a reproduction next to your juicy juice that you didn't know actually worked really, really well together. So
yeah, no, that's really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's one. I mean, we've been doing that for 4 years. Love it. The Modern Maker, which you mentioned before. So this one's a little different. So I actually acquired this company. So I bought the company about a year after we opened. And it is 3 1-yard cuts of fabric, all from the same collection. So the surprise is you don't know what cuts you're actually going to. It's made for, I mean, you can do 3 1-yard quilts, right? But it's also primarily used for people that are making apparel and accessories and homewares because you get bigger cuts of fabric, so you can do more things with it than you could with the fat quarter or a half yard. So we love this one. This one, it's always fun to pick. Like, this is not a box for me. So I like shopping for these fabrics because I'm not shopping for me. Like it's fun to like, even me personally, stretch my horizons. Like, I have boys. I'm not making dresses for little girls to put on Instagram, but I know that there are a lot of people out there that do that. And so it's important for me to give them quality materials to be able to support them with that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
Yes. And Java and Chroma. So those are kind of new kids on the block. So Java, October, which is coming up. I'm going to tell everyone, is my absolute favorite box. I love those Halloween boutiques. So this is something, it is seasonally themed. And so I have made so many projects where I just take this bundle and you just make a project with it and everything's coordinated and it all plays together. And it's not fabric I would have ever put together because I'm used to like buying a collection, right? Here's my fat quarter bundle of this collection, but it is boutiques that you really have to open to appreciate even, because I've opened them up and I'm like, oh my God, this is really amazing. Like, wait, what? This is in here too. And so from Hoffman. And it's just kind of a fun, like whenever someone's like, hey, can I get all Christmas fabric? Okay, fantastic. Here's your December bundle. Or hey, can I get, you know, pinks for Valentine's Day? Here's your February bundle. So it works well in that case as well.
Yeah.
And people are always asking us for thread. People love thread because they're burning through thread, and people don't know where to start with color. And this is kind of my box I would have created for me. I have been a white Gutermann thread my entire life. Like, if you're asking me what I'm sewing with, 9 times out of 10, it's white Gutermann. Like, the idea that like I can put a different color on my sewing machine and it still works, like, yes, you can do that. And so we created Chroma to expose people to different colors, right? So, you know, yes, here's some blue thread. What sort of crazy project are you going to work on with it? And yeah, you could do piecing with it, but why don't you try top stitching? And why don't you try different quilting? So, a little secret, I learned how to quilt outside the ditch, like for the first time a year and a half ago.
Oh my gosh.
I was a stitch in the ditch person. Like, I was like, you mean I can go outside the lines? Like, am I like, and so literally like my first project, I was sweating bullets as I was quilting like a ½ inch off the seam. Like, oh my God, am I making a mistake? Oh my God, I got to rip it out. Right. And so of course, like now that you have colorful thread, like it's as artistic to quilt as it is to piece. And so, yeah, so I did Chroma just because I like color and I think color can inspire. And, you know, you're going to get threads and you might be like, oh my God, that's a different shade of purple than I've ever seen before. What can you do with it?
Yeah, these are really inspirational boxes, I feel like, and they're a lot of fun to just play with them. I know I took my Java box and each year the president of our Modern Quilt Guild, they put forth a challenge to the guild members to create a quilt from a specific pattern that they have. And I put forth one that was like, it's called Peaks, and it's a free pattern out there on the web. And the batiks work so perfectly into that one. And it just worked out. It was the perfect box for what I needed and created such an awesome quilt. And yeah,
I remember it.
Yeah,
it was awesome. It was very cool. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, it's been a lot of fun, and yeah, these are just so cool. And so if we've talked about a lot of different products today and a lot of different things, and people probably have their heads spinning with everything that we talked about. So go ahead.
No, go ahead. You first.
Okay, all right. So where can they find all the things that we've talked about today?
Oh my gosh. So the mothership, cottoncuts.com. Everything is on cottoncuts.com. So it talks about all the different boxes. It talks about all the mystery. There's a whole bunch of facts in case we said something really fast, because I talk super fast. There's a whole bunch of questions. We have Facebook pages as well. I think we have 8 Facebook pages. And so one of my customer service gals, she monitors all of them. If you have any questions, you can definitely find us on the web.
Awesome. And if people do have questions that we didn't cover in here, what is a good way? You talked about Facebook. Are there other ways to get in touch with y'all?
Yeah, so the best place is to email us, and it's very simple. It's help@cottoncuts.com. We have about 3 people that monitor that email, and we'll get back to you as quickly as they can.
And I can definitely say that is 100% true, because I have definitely emailed in and gotten a response even at like 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
So Jenny is my night owl. She is our master of all things customer service. And so she is happiest working like 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. And so she covers everything that comes in while all of us are sleeping, and she's able to help people and get everyone on the right track. And then when my team gets here in the morning, we're off.
Yep. I was very surprised to get that email at 2 a.m. I was like, wait a minute. I know I stay up late. What is happening here? So,
yes.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, definitely go check out. If you haven't heard of Cotton Cuts before and never explored their website, head over to their website, check out all their products. Cotton Cuts, like I said, is a company that I stand behind and enjoy their customer service along with the products that they provide. So go check them out if you haven't heard of them before. Kim, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Ian. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
I will. And guys, don't forget, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button down below, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and get great updates every time I post a new video or go live. You can do that by clicking the bell notification icon, and then clicking on all notifications. I say this so many times, I forget what I'm saying sometimes. Also, don't forget to get social with me and Cotton Cuts over on our social media links. I'll put Cotton Cuts social media links down in the description along with mine, so make sure to go check them out. Get social, say hello, and let them know that I sent you over there. All right, guys, remember, normal is just a setting on the dryer. Bye.
Bye.